You know what I mean? There you go. No, I'm saying boom. So then when you extend it, boom. This is protecting you. This is right here. You know what I mean? Because look, if I throw a hook, no, I'm saying, if I'm here, boom. You just throw a hook. I'm just gonna turn around shoulder. When you keep my
I feel I got the speed over Canelo. I got the reach over him. He might got the size, the power. I got the better skills, boxing skills.
Would it be more of a counter?
Terence Crawford has broken down Canelo Alvarez's fighting style and revealed his strategy to beat him on September 13th. Meanwhile, Caleb Plant said he expects the matchup between Canelo and Crawford to be intense and action-packed. According to Plant, the fight should have a much higher punch output than Canelo's bout with John Ryder, which he thought was slow and predictable due to Ryder's defensive approach and low activity. Plant noted that Canelo has previously admitted he doesn't enjoy facing opponents who don't engage much. He believes this fight will be totally different because Crawford's fast hands and busy style will force more exchanges, making it a far more exciting clash.
It's going to be a good fight. Yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting fight. I think there's going to definitely be some back and forth and a lot more punches thrown than the skull fight. I kind of honestly was expecting that with the skull fight. Yeah. I heard Canelo say in an interview before he don't like to fight certain fighters because you heard him say that.
Yeah, he doesn't like fighting fighters like Skull because they don't throw punches. That's all they do, yeah.
And knowing how Skull fights and him being a Cuban, and I felt like I had seen that coming from all the way out and didn't really expect it to be I thought he was either going to wind up catching him and stopping him or it was going to wind up being how it went. So, but that's a stylistic matchup, you know, and it's going to be a completely different stylistic matchup between him and Bud. And I think it's going to make for an exciting fight.
Caleb Plant said it's understandable that most people see Canelo as the favorite since he's naturally bigger and Crawford is moving up in weight. But he feels size can be overrated and betting odds don't always show who will actually win. He reminded fans that he was once considered an underdog too, yet still became a world champion. While Plant didn't pick a winner, he shared that he's excited to watch the fight as a fan and expects a high-level matchup that could turn out to be something special.
Regardless of however the fight itself plays out, I feel like the betting, you know, the betting people will probably have Canelo as a favorite simply because, you know, Terence is moving up a couple weight classes and people will say, oh, there's weight classes for a reason and this and that. So it doesn't matter what the betting odds say though. You know what I'm saying? I've been the underdog a couple times. Jose Uzcategui, I was the underdog. That's how I became world champion. So, odds only mean so much. You know, once the bell rings, the fighters get to figure it out.
Do you think Canelo wins? Or do you think Terence wins? This is my last one.
Can't say.
Can't say.
Don't know. I'm just, as a fan, excited to see the fight. And from the boxing knowledge that I have, which I feel like is decent, I think it's going to be a real good fight. I'm excited for it.
He added that Terence Crawford has gotten used to walking opponents down and relying on his natural athleticism because he's typically been too dominant for his competition, a pattern he compared to the Paul Williams or Mark Breland disease, where raw talent leads to bad habits. Crawford often uses a high guard, parries punches, and counters while absorbing shots on his arms and shoulders. But Shaw cautioned that this style could be dangerous against a true 168-pounder like Canelo Alvarez, whose power is on another level. He also pointed out that Crawford hasn't often shown he can fight off the back foot and win without taking damage, which could be a major factor in this matchup.
Terence Crawford has been getting hit flush repeatedly forever. But he has what I like to call the Paul Williams disease or the Mark Breland disease, where you've been too athletically gifted or too big for your eye. So you have built this bad habit of saying, now I'm gonna walk you down and whip your ass. Nobody has really been able to hurt Crawford. What Crawford does to walk you down and whip your ass is putting his guard up, very similar to Canelo. Or he'll do this, and he would block with that hand, he'll parry, and he'll hit. Because he's just too physical. He will end up being like, bam, bam, catching your punches to throw his, and he'll walk you down. And my problem with that is you're dealing with a 168-pound Canelo, who's going to hit your arms, hit your shoulders. It's going to feel different. I've never known Crawford to box off his back foot, swim without getting wet, and just outpoint you. That's not him.
Shocker, Stevenson also shared his thoughts, saying he believes Terence "Bud" Crawford will beat Canelo Alvarez. While he respects Canelo's skills and legacy, he feels Crawford's versatility and overall tools give him the edge. When asked about the weight difference, Shocker played it down, saying people tend to exaggerate its importance and noting that Canelo isn't a naturally huge fighter like David Benavidez. so the size gap isn't as big as some think. He added that during a conversation with Bozy, they both agreed that if Canelo loses focus or takes Crawford lightly, there's a real possibility Crawford could even score a stoppage.
I'm gonna cook Canelo. I think he's gonna cook him. I think, Canelo a hell of a fighter, but I think Bud just got all the tools to beat him.
You don't think the weight difference is gonna be too big of an advantage?
I think y'all make that something, in certain fights,
Boxing makes it something, not us.
like if this was like a Benavidez, he's actually a lot bigger than Bud, so that would like apply. But I feel like with Canelo, he's like physically kind of big, but like height wise, he's kind of small. So I don't think so. No.
Have you got a decision to stoppage? Because Brandman and Bozy think that Bud actually might stop it.
Me and Bozy talked about that. That's crazy. Me and him got on the phone, talked about it, but I think that's possible. Like, I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but I think it's a possibility if Canelo gets to acting out of line and not understanding that Bud could crack too.
Terence Crawford said he expects Canelo Alvarez to mix his boxing skills with steady pressure, using his size to try and wear him down. But while he admits Canelo is naturally bigger, he made it clear that he's fully prepared for any strategy. Canelo brings and is ready for every scenario in the ring.
Expecting Canelo to beat Canelo. He's the bigger man. I expect him to, box a little bit, but I also expect him, to try to walk me down and be the bigger man. So, we expect everything in there. I definitely don't matter. The odds can't fight for him. So, it is what it is.
Crawford urged fans not to miss the action on September 13th, calling it a high-stakes showdown between two of boxing's best, with one man looking to preserve his dominance and the other aiming to take it, insisting everything is on the line, and promising that the fight will be something truly special.
It's going to be a spectacular fight. You got two great fighters, going head-to-head, and trying to dethrone. You got one fighter trying to dethrone the other one, and you got the other one trying to, stay at the top. So, it's going to be a great fight. Both of us got a lot to lose, but a lot to gain. So, I think that's why everybody should tune in, because it's going to be a hell of a...
Rolando Romero said he genuinely wants Terence Crawford to give Canelo Alvarez a one-sided beating, repeating the sentiment with clear emotion. When asked why, he pointed to something Canelo did in a recent fight that he felt was deeply disrespectful to the sport. Although he acknowledged the challenge of the weight difference, Romero explained that his support for Crawford comes from both personal feelings and his disappointment in Canelo's behavior, which he called a serious offense to boxing.
Canelo. I hope Crawford beats the shit out of him.
Really? Yeah?
Now, I'll tell you like this. The weight division things, but I hope Crawford beats the shit out of him.
Why do you want to see Crawford beat the ish out of Canelo?
I just hope Crawford beats the shit out of him.
Why? Like, Canelo, is it because of the last fight? Like you haven't been a fan of Canelo, or like, why? Like, you like Crawford that much? Took your copy.
What Canelo did on that day was disrespectful to boxing. It was just simply disrespectful to boxing.
In a separate conversation, Romero said he doesn't see Canelo versus Crawford as a true marquee event, arguing that a fight with David Benavidez would carry far more weight and importance. While he respects Canelo's skills and accomplishments, he criticized the idea that matching a naturally smaller fighter like Crawford against a bigger opponent automatically makes the bout significant. In his view, a truly major fight is either a showdown between elite fighters in the same division, or a clash between two big-name stars who can create a must-see spectacle for the fans.
I don't think Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia 2 is a big fight.
I was going to ask you about that. I
don't think that's a big fight. I don't think Canelo Crawford's a big fight.
No?
I think Canelo Benavidez is a big fight.
I think that's huge.
I don't think a dude moving up 3 weight divisions to go fight a dude that's twice his size, I know he looked bigger than him the other day, but obviously, regardless, I don't think that's not making a big fight.
What is making a big fight? Like, how do you make a big fight?
You take the best person in one weight division, you put another person in the weight division, make a big fight, or you get two stars that are entertaining as hell, and you make a big fight like that.
Romero remains convinced that size will ultimately be the deciding factor if Crawford and Canelo face off. Speaking bluntly, he said anyone who thinks Crawford can win is foolish, stressing that weight classes exist for a reason. While he agrees, Canelo is the bigger man, he also pointed out that Canelo is highly skilled, making this less about talent and more about physicality. In Romero's view, Crawford simply doesn't have a realistic path to victory. That wraps up today's video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed watching.